to the beginning of the game, we all come to a game with hopes and expectations, looking for immersion. Sometimes it would be better to play on flat screen, less scary, without ever knowing the full potential of 6DOF VR. In a VR horror game, there are only victims and monsters, and the trick is not to end up as either, but trapped by the genre, we are all ripped to pieces along the way. This is not the game I hoped it to be. This was flat screen, not the experience I wanted. This game will eat us alive. This game is a monster, and monsters wear many VR headsets.
VRified Games.
What's up, Bill? Yeah, and living there talking here. Coming to you live with Dago, VRified Games. How we doing, Dago?
Hey Ed, how's it going?
I'm a little creeped out, I gotta tell you. What in the ass crack is going on?
Well Ed, okay. Yeah, very excited.
Yeah, I can tell you're excited. You
No, Ed. Today we got an exclusive first look at an upcoming mod, Alan Wake 2 in VR by Mutar.
Alan Wake 2 in VR? Oh hell no! Get the dang headset off, man.
No man, for real.
So hey, yo, Dago.
Yeah.
Tell me, man. We sometimes get asked in the comment section what our daily driver is. Now, I assume our daily driver is that chauffeur guy who brings us to and from the studio and feeds us caviar and all the rest, but that's not what a daily driver is it, man?
No, Ed. Nope, a daily driver is basically the HMD you use on the daily.
Oh,
the one you like the
yeah,
most.
all right, then. Okay, and what's your one?
Well, Ed, I actually alternate between two, believe it or not, because they offer different experiences.
Oh?
Yeah. So, first of all, I've got a PSVR 2, which I use for, obviously, PSVR 2 gaming with my PS5, and also for PC, because the OLED panels allow for deeper blacks, and I find a bump in FOV versus my other HMD.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, man. And because it's wired, there's also a lot less noticeable compression, a lot less artifacting, and yeah, I like it. Now, out of the box, I found it quite uncomfortable, but we've solved that with Globular Cluster. With their CMP2 comfort mod, it is essentially 3 different head straps in one for your PSVR 2 that you can chop and change to your liking. You get 3 front pads, 3 rear pads, a padded top strap, a cloth top strap, and an adjustable rear pad that'll cup the back of your head. The 3 front pads include a fabric pad to absorb sweat, a cooling PU leather, which is softer to touch on the skin, and an ultra soft pad for your forehead. On the rear, you get the same sweat-absorbing fabric pad, a cooling PU leather pad, and a really cooling gel pad covered by silicone. A fantastic combination, and this allows me to game in my PSVR 2 a lot longer than I would with the stock strap. There's also no slipping, no sliding, and I can keep that sweet spot dialed in. The only drawback with my PSVR 2 on PC is the damn wire head. Once you go wireless, it's hard to go back.
Oh.
Now, for those who don't know, Mutar is the modder behind the recently released Starfield VR mod, which gained a lot of traction recently. And you can check out our video, link in the description on that also if you wish. But he's right back at it again. He's out the gates, fresh off of Starfield VR and straight into Alan Wake 2.
Hey, hashtag workaholic.
That's right, Ed. And as you can tell, we have a fully decoupled 6DOF camera rendered in VR. That means stereoscopic 3D, everything rendered correctly to scale, correct depth, everything working as you would expect. Here it is, Alan Wake 2 in all its glory. He even has motion controls working.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. There was an easy workaround. You see, motion controls are already enabled in the game as standard, when it comes to playing with a gyroscopic enabled game controller, such as, say, a Steam controller or a DualShock or a DualSense controller. They have the 6-axis. They will work. May even be possible with Joy-Cons, I don't know. But he was able to exploit that and use the gyro information from your motion controller to enable trade-off aiming, and it works beautifully. You can aim your weapon in first person, or you can keep it in third person, and it still tracks. Very, very immersive, very cool. If you've played Edge of Nowhere, very good example for how Alan Wake 2 plays in VR. So, what is Alan Wake 2? Well, okay, to explain Alan Wake 2 in a sentence or two is, it's nigh on impossible, but basically Alan Wake, it's the brainchild of Remedy Studios, the creative force behind Max Payne 1 and 2, the original Alan Wake American Nightmare, and Alan Wake Remastered. They're all back, all present and correct, and worked here on Alan Wake 2. And it had to be that creative team, Ed, because the vision and execution of the original Alan Wake was so bizarre and out there that it can't be replicated, it can't be done by somebody else. I don't think it could be. It needed to be the same creative team back again. And credit where it's due, they stuck the landing, they hit the mark. Alan Wake 2 is every bit as bizarre and crazy as the original Alan Wake, and it's beloved by fans for a very good
cool,
reason.
man. Yeah, what's it all about then?
So what's it about? Wow. Okay, right. Let's see if we can break it down a little bit. So, okay, imagine if Stephen King from the 80s and 90s, you know, when he was writing madness on the page due to being on a coke-fueled adventure. Remember that mad version of Stephen King that existed back in the 80s and 90s?
No.
Right, well, this is essentially if that version of Stephen King made video games. That's Alan Wake. Okay, the protagonist is a writer, like many of King's protagonists would be. Essentially, yes, King wrote about himself as the protagonist in many of his stories, but obviously changed the name and some details. But Alan Wake is no different. You are a writer, and you're discovering that your latest novel is coming to life before your very eyes. If that doesn't scream drug-fueled Stephen King narrative, I don't know what else does. But that trend very much continues on to Alan Wake 2. So it's the same thing. Your latest novel seems to be coming to life inexplicably before your eyes, and you're like, uh-oh, here we go again.
Cool, man. So how does it play?
Well, it plays like a typical over-the-shoulder third-person perspective game, with one unique feature, and it's not unique to Alan Wake per se. I had seen it done before in games like BioShock, where they even coined the phrase the 1-2 punch.
What you getting at, man?
You need to first stun your enemy before you can take them out. And this was done before in BioShock, where you had to stun your enemy and then you used your melee or ranged attack to finally defeat them. In Alan Wake, it's the same principle. The enemy is drawn to shadow and it does not like light. So you go in there with your flashlight, you stun your enemy first of all with the flashlight, and then you shoot him, or you attack him with melee, and you take care of him that way. There's also light-based puzzles, which uses a physics engine also to get you through the game. But that is the unique gameplay factor on display here that made it stand out from its competitors at the time. Other than that, yes, it is a standard third-person, over-the-shoulder affair. But again, what made Alan Wake stand out was its unique narrative, its compelling storyline, and its approach to gameplay. Now, this all gets amped up with the VR mod here, because as I said before, you're using your motion controls. Shine that flashlight, fire your weapon. All works in treed-off, motion-controlled, a very, very immersive way to play. You can aim in both first and third person, and it's fantastic. Feels fantastic in both views. Now, I've asked Muhtar, had he considered releasing the game with a first-person perspective throughout, as in through the exploration sections also. He said he has no plans at present, and that's fair enough. Personally, it's something I would love to see, but I understand. The game was designed to be played from a third-person perspective. You do lose that situational awareness when you're in first person of enemies at your flank and at your back, but it's cool that you can switch between first and third person for combat. I really like it.
How's it playing, man?
Yeah, man, it plays great. As I said, you have a decoupled camera, so you can freely look around the environment while following your protagonist. You can take in the atmosphere, soak it all in. It is amazing. People who say third-person games don't work in VR are just plain wrong. They work. They work. And they work surprisingly well, especially in the horror genre. The fact that you can use your controller for trade-off aiming is icing on the cake, in my opinion. It's a really cool feature. Would I like first person? Would I like six-stuff aiming? Of course I would. Who wouldn't? But for a very first release, and this is beta, it's not even the first release yet, guys. It's so polished. It's so dang good. So dang good. And I'm happy to say, I never played Alan Wake 2 when it released originally.
No, you didn't?
No, because I didn't know, but I had hoped beyond hope that a modder out there, be that Prey Dog, be that Luke Ross, be that whoever, would pick up the reins one day and get the Alan Wake series into VR. Now, we didn't get the originals, sadly, but we did get Alan Wake 2, and I'm so happy I waited, because I'm experiencing this for the first time in VR, and I am petrified. Like, the influences are very clear. You got influence from Twin Peaks, you got influence from Twilight Zone, you got the survival horror video game genre, Stephen King, all wrapped up in this cool police procedural kind of storyline that the protagonist has cooked up. It is fantastic. It's so compelling, I can't stop playing, and I'm so happy I waited.
Yeah, well, that's cool, man. So that's quite impressive from this Mutar guy. He's got Starfield VR and now Alan Wake 2.
That's right, man. I cannot wait to see what he does next. He is literally killing it. Fantastic work. Okay, guys, so watch this space. As soon as the mod becomes available, I will update links in the description so you'll be able to download it yourselves. If you want to keep up with the progress, I'll also link his Discord, so you can feel free to join up there. You can get information on both Starfield VR and Alan Wake 2 VR there. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go flash my torch or flashlight, whatever version of English you guys use.
Flash that thing.
Thanks, Ed. Yeah, flash that thing at some enemies, blow them away, yeah, just get lost in this world for a little while. So, yeah, see you later. So I guess we're gonna leave it there, you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you've any thoughts, queries, any critiques, put them down below. If indeed there are any games you'd like us to look at VRifying in the future, put those down below, and we will presumably get back to you eventually. You can also follow us on TikTok for our adventures over there, which are basically condensed versions of what we do over here. And yeah, follow us on all social medias. All links will be in the descriptions, and yeah, looking forward to seeing you there also. Alright, VRified Games out.
Y'all, listen up. Exclusive deal time. If y'all in the market for a Meta headset, accessory, or game in the store, check out our affiliate links in the description for some money off on those bad boys. Not only will you get a sweet little discount on any of the sales, but we also get a little something, you know what I mean? It'd be much appreciated. Help the channel out. Thanks, y'all. Yeah.